This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Permit revoked. A MAGA musicians concert will go ahead, but not at a Parks Canada historical site. Bills mounting. The family of a woman undergoing her second lung transplant calls for an increase in financial support. And last chapter, a longtime Halifax bookstore faces closure if it can't raise enough cash to pay the rent.
Not much to show you on the satellite and the radar picture. That means a high UV index, but very few complaints about the weather today. As for tomorrow, fairly sunny, warm, but a bit windier. We'll have the details just ahead.
Good evening. A controversial American religious leader and musician starts his cross-Canada tour tonight in Nova Scotia. But his welcome hasn't exactly been warm. Parks Canada has revoked a permit to hold a concert at a National Historic Site. But as the CBC's Brett Ruskin reports, a new venue has been found.
The original venue for this Sean Feucht concert was a Parks Canada site called York Redoubt here in Halifax. It's a popular historic site, but residents weren't happy about this concert happening here, weren't happy about it happening on a Parks Canada site. So late last night, after 11 o'clock, Parks Canada confirmed to CBC News that as a result of emerging safety and security considerations, they would be revoking the event permit for this concert. Now we know that there was a protest planned by upset residents, upset by having Sean Feucht arrive here for a concert. And a bit more about Sean Feucht. He is a religious figure in the United States. He ran as a conservative Republican candidate back in 2020 in California, was not elected. During the COVID-19 pandemic, him and his church group acted against the masking regulations, against the large group gathering regulations. He's spoken out in favor of Donald Trump, against abortion, against 2S LGBTQ+ rights. And his plan, according to his social media accounts, was to come here on this cross-country tour to, quote, save Canada and to spark a religious revival here. So the original venue that he was planning to start this tour at here in Halifax, the Parks Canada site, will no longer be happening, but the show is still going on at a new site. This one about 40 minutes drive outside of Halifax in Shubenacadie. There's a church group there called Lighthouse Ministries. The leader of that group owns a property. That is where this concert is set to take place instead. Now, there's a series of other concerts over the next month or so in various cities. They are each happening at kind of public squares, public parks. So we'll have to watch and see how other municipalities and other jurisdictions handle these event bookings, handle these proposed concerts with the controversial religious figure Sean Feucht. So again, the first stop on the tour, the original site, will not be going ahead for Sean Feucht's concert tour, but he has found an alternative site for tonight's event. Brett Ruskin, CBC News, Halifax.
CBC News reached out to both Parks Canada and Lighthouse Ministries, the new site of the concert. Both declined an interview. Meanwhile, the cities of Charlottetown and Moncton have also revoked permits for a concert by Feucht that had both been scheduled for tomorrow. Well, a young woman from Cole Harbour is in intensive care in a Toronto hospital 1 month after receiving her second double lung transplant. The Ali family is one of three who spoke to CBC about the financial devastation they face to access the surgery. Now they're ready to share their story. Carolyn Ray reports.
It's been 1 month since Talia Ali had her double lung transplant in Toronto. The 20-year-old from Cole Harbour has been through a lot. This is her second transplant. In the days before the operation, she said she was focused on getting back to her life back home.
A couple weeks ago, my best friend from my childhood best friend, Arabella, came down and visited for the weekend. And we went to the mall. We just hung out, did our own girly things like we did before.
Talia was diagnosed with pulmonary hypertension when she was 7. The only treatment was a transplant. She had her first one during COVID when she was just 16. After that, Talia was able to come home and just be a teenager. We met her when she went to summer camp. She graduated high school and got a job, but then her new lungs started to fail, and she and her mother went back to Toronto, where they waited for a year until a new match was found.
It's hard because she's surrounded by older people. Like, there's nobody going through it
My age.
her age.
The second trip came with a new set of expenses. The province gives them $3,000 a month, but that only covers their rent. Talia's mom, Lisa, was less than 10 hours short of qualifying for employment insurance, so she's been putting all their added costs on credit cards, racking up more than $20,000 in debt so far.
I'm waiting for phone calls for lungs, but the only people that are calling me is creditors.
Well, emotionally, it just takes its toll.
In Halifax, Talia's grandmother struggles with being so far away from the family. Judy Robichaud is constantly on her phone, anxious for updates. She says the burden on families to support themselves during this time is unacceptable.
There was like a damage deposit, then they had to pay 2 or 3 months rent up front. So it was thousands of dollars, that initial move to Toronto.
Friends and family have been doing fundraisers to try to alleviate at least one of their stresses, while the family tries to focus on Talia's treatment. Her transplant has been marred with complications, and they expect to be in Toronto for another year while she recovers. They say Talia is a fighter, and they can't wait to have a big celebration when Talia finally gets back home to Nova Scotia. Carolyn Ray, CBC News, Halifax.
A woman has drowned while swimming in Pictou County. RCMP say the 68-year-old was swimming off Twin Cove Lane in Miragamish on Monday morning. She encountered difficulties and went underwater. The woman had been swimming with another person who brought her to shore. CPR was provided, but the woman was pronounced dead at the scene. The Transportation Safety Board is launching a national safety issue investigation into how fires on board vessels are handled. That's as a result of a fire on board MV Holiday Island as the ferry was traveling between Nova Scotia and PEI 3 years ago. More than 200 passengers had to be removed from the vessel using an inflatable chute and small boats as fire raged on board. The TSB released its investigation report on the fire today. It said the fire was caused by a non-standard repair made to the ferry's fuel injection system. When that fix failed, it caused fuel to spray onto hot engine components and ignite. The TSB says fortunate circumstances prevented disaster.
In the case of the Holiday Island, the outcome could have been a lot worse. The emergency response that followed was successful due to incidental but fortunate circumstances. The fire broke out when the vessel was near the terminal. It was daylight, the weather was manageable, the seas were calm, a modern evacuation system had been installed earlier that year, and help was nearby.
The vessel was eventually scrapped because it could be repaired. All right, Jay is here with the weather forecast. And aside from a bit of wind, another good summer day tomorrow.
Yeah, we do have a pretty strong southwest wind that will be ramping up overnight into the morning hours tomorrow. Likely for the Halifax area, areas a bit further east, that wind really starts to pick up into the afternoon. Does become fairly gusty. It's a warmer wind direction, so temperatures are going to be nice, but we will see a bit more humidity building in as well. Today, though, loads of sunshine across the province. Temperatures, aside from areas immediately downwind of the water, we're up into the warmer end of that seasonal territory today, even a bit above for many areas, but not too humid. It was fairly comfortable. So we'll see temperatures through the evening hours with a partly cloudy sky, at times still mainly sunny. Around 20, 21 degrees. We do dip down to low to mid-teens through the overnight hours tonight, so cool enough you can open up the window for a comfortable sleep. That wind out of the southwest picking up through the morning hours ahead of a mainly sunny, albeit blustery afternoon. Coastal areas could see gusts beyond 50, some areas even near 60 kilometers per hour. And a few clouds do develop late in the day, but aside from that, strong southwest wind, looking to be another nice one across Nova Scotia for your Thursday.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Jay. Tim Houston and other Canadian premiers have wrapped up their annual meetings with discussions on immigration and health care. Donald Trump's trade war seems to dominate discussions with the first 2 days, with the Prime Minister joining the talks Tuesday. The premiers were asked if other issues were taking a back seat.
The economic conversation that we've been having because of the threat that Trump posed is critical and takes up a lot of space, but we also have been able to meet so frequently that we can continue to talk about ways that we can improve our healthcare system collectively and how we can push the federal government to have a more responsive immigration system in the hands of the provinces.
During the meeting, a number of provinces also signed several free trade deals to open up internal trade. A bookstore that's been a Halifax institution since 1987 is in danger of permanently closing if the business is unable to raise enough money to catch up on rent by Friday. For Andrew Sampson reports.
This is an unusual sight for regulars at John W. Dell's bookstore, a line of people waiting to pay at the cash. Over the past few years, business has slowed, with much of it now coming from online sales, and the store is on the verge of closing. But these readers came down in hopes of catching a deal and of keeping this one-of-a-kind bookstore alive a little bit longer.
I saw that they had posted that they were possibly closing, that there's a big sale, and I think it's really important to support local sellers, especially books. I love books. I grew up reading my whole life, and so I thought it was important to come out, get some good books, support the folks, hopefully help them not close in an ideal world.
The bookstore is a Halifax institution. The shelves are lined with everything from long out-of-print books to classic works of literature like The Catcher in the Rye. New treasures await around every corner.
Any book you could imagine on any topic is available here. It's going to be such a loss to the city to not have a bookstore of this magnitude.
There's nothing quite like it. The store first opened on Hollis Street in Halifax in 1987, then moved to Barrington, before finally ending up on Main Street in Dartmouth in 2012. Dell estimated in 2023 that the inventory includes millions of used books, but the shop is now in peril, behind 2 months on rent payments.
So they are going to kick us out if we can't come up with the money in about a week by Friday.
Other than John Dell himself, who wasn't in on Tuesday, Jacob Smith is the shop's sole employee. By his estimate, they need between $15,000 to $20,000 by Friday. All inventory has been marked down by 40% to try and drum up the necessary funds, and word has already begun to spread.
I mean, I've never seen a time where we needed a bigger parking lot.
At the beginning of the week, he felt the odds weren't in the store's favor, but he's starting to feel a little more optimistic.
On Monday, we did probably $4,500 worth of sales, so if we can keep that ball rolling, it'll be good.
And so the race is on. If J.W. Dell can't get enough money by the end of day Friday, the bookstore will be forced to close their doors for good. Andrew Sampson, CBC News, Dartmouth.
The Nova Scotia Museum has reopened a site in Maitland with a one-of-a-kind model. The Lawrence House is being operated by both provincial staff and community volunteers. Have a look.
I'm Maggie McIntyre. I am the manager of rural sites for the Nova Scotia Museum. I'm really happy that you're here at Lawrence House today. The museum's reopened this year after a closure, and we're really excited to be able to welcome people back into the museum to tell this really interesting and very engaging story of W.D. Lawrence, the ship, and his family. It's a story that really resonates with people. And so when the community approached the Nova Scotia Museum, we wanted to find an operations model that really reflected that type of community pride in the museum. The Nova Scotia Museum has 17 museums that have the community involved in some capacity in the operations, but this is the first time that we have this hybrid model. The staff here are civil servants working for the province, but the community is playing that larger role. So this hybrid model is a brand new thing. Normally it's kind of a one or the other, and this is a nice way to see what the right fit is for this area.
I'm Elise Reimer. I'm a heritage interpreter at Lawrence House Museum. I'm glad that I can get to help get people in to see it again because it's really important to the community.
There are 3 days a week now that we are operating for events. So that includes community musicals, Make and Mend, which is an opportunity for people to come together and work on projects, and then a board game night on Thursdays, which is a really great opportunity to come into the museum under different circumstances, see it in the dark, under different lighting, and play board games. The last decade, you could say, of museums have really changed how museums are operating in community everywhere. And I think this engagement with community is movement forward for all museums. So although we don't know specifically the operating model for next year, this desire to be engaged in community is really important, and I think that's really how we're pushing museums to be engaged, meeting community needs. It's not always just about giving that historic tour and telling those facts and preserving the artifacts.
Nice night for a sail, and I guess it's going to get even windier tomorrow. Jay's back with the weather forecast.
This weather update is brought to you by Access Wellness Nova Scotia. Book your appointment today for free, confidential mental wellness support.
And Jay is back, and tomorrow sounds like a good day to put the wash on the line.
Yeah, make sure you've got like the extra sturdy clothespins, though.
Right,
that would be
right.
well,
Secure them
otherwise
on.
Yeah, otherwise you'll be maybe helping bolster your neighbor's summer wardrobe because it will become a bit windy into the afternoon. But it's going to be a nice one tomorrow, temperature-wise, conditions-wise. It's just for exposed areas once we get into the afternoon. And even earlier for the South Shore, that wind really does start to pick up. We're not looking at anything near wind warning criteria, but we are looking at some pretty blustery conditions. It's from a warmer wind direction, so we'll see those temperatures up very warm for most areas again for your Thursday. Fairly sunny as well. The humidity will start to increase a little bit, so we'll get back into not uncomfortable territory, but starting to tick up. Even muggier conditions, though, into Friday, thanks to that southwesterly wind that really starts to usher in that more humid air tomorrow. So we saw some pretty mild daytime highs across the province today. Not much to show you on the satellite and the radar picture with that ridge of high pressure in place. We had maybe a light haze up high in the sky over Nova Scotia and across the Maritimes today, but not really much in terms of significant cloud cover. So that UV index was up there. The temperature started to return back to some warmer conditions as well. Now, through the evening hours, we may see a partly cloudy sky developing, so a mix of sun and cloud. As we move through the overnight hours, we do see a few passing clouds. Now, the wind is becoming a bit more brisk overnight, but there still is a chance, and it will be higher for coastal areas, of maybe seeing some fog patches setting up, as we do have a bit more humidity in the atmosphere to contend with through the overnight hours tonight. Starting out with a mix of sun and cloud in the morning, clearing to a mainly sunny afternoon across the province. We can see the boundary that is approaching, that front that is approaching, that will late Friday night into early Saturday morning bring some showers. I think most folks in Nova Scotia will likely sleep through that rain, now, unless it comes with a rumble of thunder and wakes you up. But the timing of that shouldn't really interfere too much with the Saturday forecast for most areas. You can see into Friday we are seeing some pretty sunny conditions across mainland Nova Scotia. Slight chance we could see into Friday some isolated showers, thunderstorms into Cape Breton. I think the bulk of the rain, though, will hold off as that frontal boundary sinks south as we look to the late evening hours into overnight into early Saturday. So even Friday will be a little on the muggy side, but for most areas should still be fairly sunny. So through the overnight hours tonight, just a few clouds to contend with. Do watch for maybe some coastal fog patches that could spread inland until that wind picks up to mix out the fog. Temperatures between 13 and 15 degrees for most areas overnight. So this is still very comfortable temperatures for sleeping if you don't have air conditioning. Just crack open the window. Probably don't even need a fan with temperatures dropping. After the warmer temperatures today, temperatures dropping into the mid-teens tonight. As we take a look at our daytime highs tomorrow, the wind will be picking up from the south to southwest. So it'll be a little bit cooler downwind of the water. So 23, 24 in Halifax. May see an official daytime high out of Stanfield at 25 or 26, because you can see those inland areas can't feel as we look to that wind coming out of the south. That means an inland wind or an offshore wind for you there. As we look to Truro area, 27, 28 up into the hub. So we will be looking at temperatures likely at or above seasonal for inland areas. May feel a little bit cooler by the water, but you feel a little bit more of that humidity in the atmosphere as well. Humidex values only a few degrees above the actual temperature, though, so not oppressive by any stretch. Just on the warmer end of those temperatures, could be feeling around or just over 30, factoring in the humidex. And as we take a look at what we can expect heading into the weekend, it is a mainly sunny afternoon for your Thursday. We'll see a mix of sun and cloud on Friday. There is a chance for eastern areas up into Cape Breton of some scattered showers, isolated thunder showers as we look to parts of the day on Friday. It's really not until Friday night through very early into Saturday morning, the timing of that steadier rain as that front moves through. Temperatures will still be pretty mild into your Saturday, and we do recover decently in the wake of that front into Sunday as well, with a mix of sun and cloud, and temperatures generally around where they should be. Very comfortable conditions into next week as well. It does look like we have a very dry stretch of weather, but again, we could be looking at some moderate rain falling late Friday night into Saturday, and judging by this 7-day outlook, that wet weather would be a very welcome thing indeed to hopefully keep our greenery, our lawns, from being a bit too crunchy.
Yes,
Amy?
that's right. We do need some rain. Yeah. All right. Thanks for that, Jay. The Transportation Safety Board is launching a national safety issue investigation into how fires on board vessels are handled. It's a result of a fire on board MV Holiday Island as the ferry was approaching Wood Island's PEI 3 years ago this month. Passengers had to be removed from the vessel using an inflatable chute and small boats, and the vessel was eventually scrapped because it couldn't be repaired. I'm joined now by Jim Ryan, mayor of the town of Pictou. So the ferry run, of course, a big part of your community. First off, I wanted to get your reaction to the TSB launching a national investigation after that fire aboard the MV Holiday Island.
Well, I would expect that any incident like that was going to require an investigation of some kind. I did pay attention to the report when it was administered this morning. There seems to be a lot of talk about maybe a lack of communication and an understanding of who is responsible for safety procedures with respect to the ferry. So I think it's an important review to have undertaken. And I also think that the Transportation Safety Board report indicates that this isn't unique in the sense that in terms of understanding responsibilities, training, safety matters around fires on vessels.
Now, of course, the fire was not the only issue hampering ferry service this year. We've seen crossings canceled because of low tides, as well as problems with the visor on one of the ferries. What impacts are you seeing as a result of those canceled runs?
We haven't done any economic impact studies specific to ferries now or in the recent past. But I think anecdotally, businesses around town have noticed the difference when the ferry isn't running. And when visitors that would normally stop into our town, whether they be here to stay for a while or just passing through, when they're not here, they notice the difference. So there definitely is important, I think, that Transport Canada and Northumberland Ferries Limited do everything they can to ensure that this particular ferry service is reliable and safe and consistent in terms of its delivery of service. If people aren't comfortable with the idea that the ferry is going to be running, then they may choose to both enter and leave Prince Edward Island via the bridge. And that would be a definite disadvantage to us in the town of Pictou, where we are located, yeah.
Is there anything in particular you'd like to see done differently?
Well, I think they need to look at some of the proactive measures that can take place. I know we've all realized we don't have control over the weather, so there are going to be weather-related situations, especially day to day, week to week. I know one of the challenges they're facing right now is the low tides, and it seems to be a little bit less about low tides and more about sand buildup or silt buildup in some of the entries to the harbor. So those are some of the things that perhaps could be looked at more proactively. Also, some of the maintenance issues on the ships themselves. We seem to hear on every couple of weeks at least of a technical issue with one ship or the other not able to dock properly, and significant inconveniences to those traveling on the ferries. So these can all add up and create uncertainty around the service.
Well, who do you think bears the most responsibility to restore that confidence in the ferry service?
Well, I think it's a shared responsibility. Obviously, I think Northumberland Ferries has a responsibility in terms of making sure the ships are running as they should, and that the proper care is taken in making sure that the mechanics of the ship are in working order. And however, Transport Canada oversees these ferry routes. So I think it's important that Transport Canada work with Northumberland Ferries and to ensure that that these problems can be overcome. but also we're looking at an old ferry here. Even we were talking about the Holiday Island earlier, but the Confederation is starting to age as well, and we know that there is a ship on the drawing boards in Quebec to replace the Confederation. So I would certainly like to think that can be at least maintain its schedule now, or even pushed a little bit quicker to make sure that we can have confidence in the ferries, both ferries going forward. So I think everybody shares a little bit of responsibility, but they have to be forward-looking too, and see that things are in good working order when it's time to operate.
Well, there's still a good chunk of the summer season left. Before I let you go, what are your hopes going forward?
Well, my hopes going forward is consistent operation of the ferries. The town of Pictou, as people who know it, we are just on the Nova Scotia side of the ferry. All traffic that comes off the ferry travels through the town of Pictou, and we are a tourist destination, whether it be for longer periods or just to stop by and have something to eat or visit our shops. So when you have 200 vehicles that would ordinarily cross the ferry and come through our town that are not doing that, even if it's for a couple of days, anecdotally, I know that our shops and our accommodations and our dining establishments are going to feel it. So we are certainly hoping that going forward that I think, and it will take some time, I think, for that consistency and that trust to be rebuilt by those who wish to travel on the ferry. The ferry's a lovely experience for those who might not have the opportunity in their own home areas to do it. So we continue to hope that people will take advantage of that experience, and we need Transport Canada and Northumberland Ferries to help us do that.
All right. Well, Mayor Ryan, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it today.
Thank you, Amy.
Coming up, more from the Premier's meeting in Ontario, including plans for a new pipeline and rail track. And why female athletes are more likely to die from sudden cardiac arrest than their male counterparts. Welcome back. As we mentioned earlier, Canada's premiers have wrapped up a 3-day summit in Ontario's cottage country. A lot of the time was focused on Donald Trump's tariff threats, but the premiers spent this day discussing domestic issues like healthcare, public safety, and immigration. Kate McKenna reports.
I just want to start by thanking my fellow premiers.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford says the premiers leave a 3-day summit in Muskoka standing as a united front.
I always say I have a team of champions for such a positive and productive meeting. I'm proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with my fellow premiers as Team Canada, and it's never been more important and never been more united.
U.S. President Donald Trump's tariff threats dominated this week's talks, but today focus shifted to domestic issues like immigration, healthcare, and bail reform.
We can walk and chew gum at the same time.
We have to be able to do multiple things at once in this country. We have to ensure that we're fixing the plane while it's flying. And not only are we going to do it, but when we're done, it's going to be a project that all Canadians can be proud of.
Premier's committed to holding the Prime Minister's feet to the fire over his promise to introduce tougher bail laws.
For any repeat violent offenders, the consequences of their action could have far greater time sentence, time served.
They committed to breaking down trade barriers between provinces, and they called for more provincial powers on immigration and continued support for health care.
To me, having a universal healthcare system that is open to everybody is one of our fundamental Canadian values. Like, this is one of the things that separates us from the Americans. Let's make sure that our universal healthcare system is strong.
The meeting was hosted by Doug Ford, who served as the chair of the Council of the Federation. He's passing on that position to PEI Premier Rob Lance, who will host next year's meeting. Kate McKenna, CBC News, Huntsville, Ontario.
3 of the premiers this week in Huntsville announced their intention to share more natural resources. Saskatchewan now joining a push by Alberta and Ontario to build a pipeline and more rail track between them, bypassing the U.S. Paula Duhacek takes a look at how realistic that is.
The premiers of Alberta, Ontario, and now Saskatchewan say this is a game changer.
This new way of working together across provincial borders will benefit the people of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Ontario, and ultimately all people across Canada.
I could really just say ditto and sit down.
The trio signed a memorandum of understanding, a call to build rail lines and pipelines to move Ontario's critical minerals west and Western oil and gas to Ontario, all of it without entering the U.S. In the heart of the oil patch, cautious optimism.
What we're hearing is very positive out of the politicians, and so now it's how do you turn that into action?
The opportunity is tremendous for First Nations in this scope, but they have to be included in all discussions, from top to bottom.
But some say expecting action from this photo op might be overly optimistic.
There's one thing for the politicians to sign MOUs, and then there's another much more complicated issue is whether these projects are economically feasible, if there are business reasons to do them.
It probably changes almost nothing.
This economist says the announcement is about painting premiers as pro-development so that any delays become a problem for Ottawa.
Now, if the port doesn't get built in Moosonee or surrounding area, whose fault is it? Well, we told Prime Minister Carney this was a project of national interest.
The Prime Minister is aiming to fast-track major projects with a new law now in effect. He also pledged to make Canada an energy superpower, many now waiting for him to make that happen. Paula Duhacek, CBC News, Calgary.
BC Premier David Eby says an accident at a mine in the province has left 3 miners trapped underground.
They are, to the best of our knowledge, uninjured and in a refuge area. There was early communication with the company. The company is working with our world-leading mining rescue teams. BC miners are the best in the world. Our rescue teams are exceptional, and they will be working overtime to bring these workers home safely to their families.
Officials say the miners became trapped after there were 2 rock collapse incidents in the access way to the underground work area. The first incident forced the workers into a refuge station before the second collapse blocked that access way. 2 of the miners are from BC and 1 is from Ontario. The open pit copper and gold mine called Red Chris Mine has been operating in Dease Lake since 2015. 2 developments now in the war between Israel and Hamas. The Israeli government says ample food, water, and medicine is getting into Gaza. That's despite a new warning about the threat of mass starvation. That warning came yesterday in a joint letter by more than 100 aid organizations. They're demanding Israel immediately restore the full flow of supplies. The groups say there's enough food to prevent famine sitting in the warehouses just outside Gaza, and that Israel is delaying and restricting its distribution. Gaza health officials say 10 more people, including an infant, have died of starvation in the past 24 hours. And they say Israeli forces have killed 34 more people seeking aid. More than 1 million people in Nigeria's northeast could be soon at risk of starvation. The World Food Program says it'll be forced to suspend all food and nutrition aid due to funding cuts.
As of now, all the warehouses of WFP are empty, and there is really a huge crisis because of the funding situation.
The shortfall has been magnified after President Donald Trump dismantled U.S. aid. 45% of the UN Food Agency's funding for the region last year had come from U.S. aid. It also comes amid violence in the region that has killed hundreds and displaced 2 million people. The UN agency says it needs $131 million to continue operating in the region this year. Well, sudden cardiac arrest is the leading cause of death in young competitive athletes. Men are more likely to suffer a sudden cardiac arrest, but when women collapse, they're far less likely to be resuscitated. Health reporter Jennifer Yoon looks at why that is.
Breathing hard. Pushing yourself harder, winning the race. A medical emergency is the last thing on this varsity athlete's mind.
It's definitely something that can sneak up on you because you're distracted in the heat of the moment.
A sudden cardiac arrest is rare, but it's the leading cause of death for young athletes like McDonald. And while men are more likely to suffer one, women whose hearts suddenly stop are less likely to survive, according to several studies. That worries Ruth.
Hesitation and potential social discomfort that people don't want to overstep boundaries, even in an emergency situation.
One pad goes here and one pad goes in the left armpit. That takes maybe 30 seconds. Obviously, you have to take their clothes off to be able to do that.
Several studies suggest bystanders tend to step in less frequently to resuscitate a woman. And in an emergency, every second matters.
For every minute of delay, it leads to a 10% increase in death rates. So after 10 minutes of a cardiac arrest, the chances of survival, unfortunately, are very, very small.
Another important factor to consider, the physiological differences between male hearts and female hearts in size, electrical systems, and blood vessels.
We don't really have a lot of great data on female athletes. A lot of the old studies have been based on male athletes, and they're not transferable.
Any concerns with any chest discomfort?
This heart specialist is trying to fill in the blanks, researching how age and hormonal changes like menopause can affect women's cardiac health.
You may look fit and healthy and feel that way, but there may be some other factors that are coming into play now that are putting you at high risk of high blood pressure and abnormal cholesterol.
Harvey says scientists are behind the game when it comes to understanding the risk factors for sudden cardiac arrest in female athletes and in best responding if a woman on a playing field has an emergency. Jennifer Yoon, CBC News, Toronto.
Many Prince Edward Island students are enjoying a well-deserved break from their studies this month. But 5 students from one high school are getting to work. They're preparing for an international competition focused on the environment. The CBC's Nancy Russell caught up with the team at a Charlottetown park.
The varied height helps.
These 5 students from Colonel Grey High School are here in Victoria Park getting ready to compete in a big competition. They'll be taking part in the 2025 Envirothon, North America's biggest high school environmental education competition. They'll be facing off against 50 teams from Canada, the United States, and China.
The hardest part is that they give you a question and then you have to have a presentation about what's your solution towards this problem.
Today, staff from the City of Charlottetown are teaching the students about forest management. At the Envirothon, the team will have to solve a problem connected to the environment. There are 4 main subject areas: forestry, soils and land use, wildlife and habitats, aquatics and water. There's also a special environmental topic every year.
Everybody has their own subject so that they can study on one thing especially, and then when we combine them together, we can use all our knowledge.
These students have just finished grade 11. They won the provincial championship in the fall, some using lessons they learned the year before.
My first year actually in grade 10, my team, we didn't do all that well. We were kind of new to it and we were a bit nervous. We, built up the courage to go again and try again next year.
The win was especially sweet for their teachers, who have watched the students grow from the experience.
Hardworking, driven, passionate.
Nicole McKeegan says the competition will be tough. She says some schools have courses dedicated to preparing for the Envirothon.
We're going to be working very hard in that week. It's not going to be a fun trip. It's going to be work from 8 to 4:30 every day. They're going to be studying, they're going to be learning, and they're going to be competing at the end of the week.
But it's also more than just the competition.
Definitely meeting other teams. Getting to know other people is kind of the reason why I joined.
Proud and because it's our hard work bring us to this.
The Envirothon will be held later this month at Mount Royal University in Calgary. Nancy Russell, CBC News, Charlottetown.
Greek authorities have closed the Acropolis to tourists for the 3rd time this summer. A drone with thermal sensors shows how bad the heat wave is in Athens. Temperatures across the Greek capital have regularly soared above 40 degrees Celsius in recent days. The city has had to close a number of popular landmarks during peak afternoon temperatures. Some parts of the city show ground temperatures hitting 75 degrees. While sunny summers in Greece attract millions of visitors, climate change has made wildfires and heat waves there more frequent and more severe. Gains in consumer and financial stocks helped lift Canada's main stock index to finish higher Wednesday, while U.S. markets also rose. Here is a look at the numbers as we head to break. This is Nova Scotia. And this is Nova Scotia on your smart TV, because CBC News is now streaming local. Local news and weather on your connected TV or favorite device. CBC News Nova Scotia, streaming now.
This weather update is brought to you by Access Wellness Nova Scotia. Book your appointment today for free, confidential mental wellness support.
Jay's back with one last look at the weather, and it sounds like we're on a pretty good run.
Yeah, I like the trajectory as we are heading towards the weekend. I like the fact that we get rain, but not at a time of day late Friday that it really puts a damper on maybe your outdoor plans as we're heading into the weekend. So far, so good. Just if you are planning to be outdoors tomorrow on a patio, maybe for lunch, keep an eye on the napkin, as it will be a little blustery. If it's your day to put the bins out on the curb for exposed areas, could be a little blustery. You may want to be sure to take extra measures on that front as well. So we'll see a few clouds developing late this evening. A partly cloudy sky overnight. There was a chance we could see some patchy fog making its way inland from some coastal areas until that wind picks up. And it will through the morning hours for the HRM in most areas, as we will be looking at that wind from the southwest increasing 20 to 40 coastal areas, 50, 60K plus gusts. Certainly not out of the question. As we look to late Thursday, that sky looking fairly clear. Into Friday, a few convective showers, maybe some morning fog as we look to Cape Breton. It does clear out, and then we do have that steadier band of rain building in. Likely not until supper time or later, into the evening hours. And in fact, for more southern and eastern areas, certainly down into the Halifax area, I think that rain's going to hold off until very close to midnight on Friday into Saturday. So good chance it's not going to disturb your plans at all, but help keep things nice and green. So we'll start out with a mix of sun and cloud. Fog patches possible, but you can see that wind 10 to 20 kilometers per hour. It's already increasing. As we edge towards the noon hour, sustained around 20, gusting to 40 for exposed areas higher. And we will see that wind generally from the southwest 20, still gusting to about 40K as we look to the late afternoon. Could see some gusts beyond that into the early evening before it does begin to ease. So aside from that brisk wind, lots of sunshine, mild temperatures, maybe not as sunny as today, but looking pretty nice for your Thursday.
Yeah, sure sounds like it. All right, thank you, Jay.
Yeah, you got it.
A new hockey club for girls in Fredericton is welcoming players of all skill levels. Rink Rebels is trying to make the sport more inclusive for girls and young women to give everyone an opportunity to get out on the ice.
My name is Ava Burns. I'm going to grade 10 at Frederick High School. I am a junior Rebels coach, as well as the lead social media role, and I'm also a Rebel myself. Everyone is included at Rink Rebels. Anyone can join, no matter your background, where you played the year before, your skill level. You come to Rink Rebels, you join the movement, and you're a part of the family immediately.
Hey, I'm Doug Grandy. I'm the co-owner of Rink Rebels. It's a all-female, kind of more of a movement that we started here in Fredericton. There's multiple different hockey outlets with, co-ed girls, girls and boys mixed together. There really isn't one place for the girls. So this is kind of their home. We're hoping that this is kind of their, hey, this is who we are. This is our identity, right? The Rink Rebels name says it all. I think just the idea of rebelling against what has always been for these girls, it's a statement. It's a start for them.
My name's Kat Pelowich, and I played on the St. Thomas women's hockey team the past 4 seasons, and I am going to play for the Concordia Stingers this next season in Montreal. This has been a surreal experience for me. Growing up, I never had something like this. So just getting involved in something I love and I'm passionate for has been awesome so far. When I was growing up, it was all male hockey. You were mixed in with a couple girls, but just being able to connect with people that aren't necessarily your age or on your team and just opening up to the hockey world would have been fabulous. Everybody out there likes hockey, right? So just having that same interest and being out there, making some new friends. Not all those girls know each other. I don't know all those girls, but I'm really excited to get to know them and build those bonds with them, even though I'm older as well. It's pretty cool to play with people on Commies, players. They put a really good role model on me and I look up to them. It's like a whole bunch of sisters to me. I think a lot of the girls feel that way. And I love playing with the girls.
Oh, I just looked right at that.
And that's it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.